From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ijoma Onyato.
Hello and welcome. As the search continues for best ways of tackling insecurity in the country, Inspector General of Police briefs lawmakers in the Senate on the modalities for community policing. Northern Group unveils security outfit, codenamed Operation Shege Kafasa, calls on northern state governors to back initiative to secure the lives of the people. Police rescued 26 victims at Gugu Muazu Forest in Katsina State a month after being abducted from Chikum local government area of Kaduna State. And 150 people injured as passenger plane skids off runway and breaks into 3 pieces, landing at an airport in Istanbul. Plus, we'll have business, sports, news from Abuja, the FCT, and of course, later on, we'll head off to our studios in London.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's mining sector expected to account for 3% of GDP over the next 5 years as government seeks to diversify the economy away from oil.
On sports news tonight, Team Nigeria in gold medal rush on the opening day of the 2020 Para Powerlifting World Cup in Abuja.
And from Abuja, federal government set to commence forensic audit of the Niger Delta Development Commission.
For the third day running, security continues to dominate discussions among policymakers in the country as they deliberate on possible ways out of the current insecurity in the nation. So today, lawmakers in the National Assembly made bold their decision to put security chiefs on their toes by first meeting with the Inspector General of Police behind closed doors on that matter. Well, that was for the Senate. For the lawmakers in the House of Representatives, a meeting with some of the service chiefs whose resignation they recently called for is an indication that the level of insecurity is not to be taken lightly. And just as the controversy over the Amotekun security initiative dies down, a northern group announced the launch of its own security outfit today, asking governors of the north to adopt the strategy. With all these, it's clear that the lawmakers in the National Assembly have their jobs cut out for them. And the long-hour meeting with the Inspector General of Police may just be the first step. Now, after the session, Mr. Adamu told the National Assembly correspondents that he briefed the lawmakers on the modality for community policing.
I came to the Senate today and briefed them on the concept of community policing. If you can remember, last year we sensitized the whole country on the need to adapt community policing in the country. And the concept is to give policing back to the community, let the community take the initiative in identifying the problems that are there that can lead to the commission of crime. And then we work with the community to solve the crime. We believe that everybody comes from the community. And the community, in the community, you know who and who is there. So taking policing back to the community will help in reducing crime to the barest minimum. So I've explained the concept of community policing to the Senate, which involves partnership with communities, and there are various communities. You can have traditional institutions as a community. You can have a National Union of Road Transport Workers as a community. You can have the media as a community, and various forms of community that we need partnership. And when we talk about the partnership, we're talking of problem solving. We need to solve problems that evolve in the community. What we mean here is that we scan the community to find out what are the indices that can lead to the commission of crime or the crime that has been committed already. We analyze the problems and then we look for solutions, that the responses that are available, then we deploy resources to deal with the problems.
Now, for the lawmakers in the House of Representatives, their call for the resignation of the service chiefs last week may have given rise for the need to hear from them. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the Joint Committees on Defence, Army, Navy and Air Force met with the service chiefs today behind closed doors. According to the Speaker, security is a priority of the 9th National Assembly and it will be addressed squarely.
People are dying every day and dying callously in ways that you can only find in almost a country without security forces. But we know that you guys are doing a lot. This is our priority. It's the government's priority, and it should also be our priority in the House. It's major in our legislative agenda, and we must address it frontally, squarely, and however and whatever needs to be done. We must think outside the box. We must take the battle to these criminals, whatever they are. So this is actually another one of those meetings, engagements, which we say is going to be continuous. We said it the last time. It's going to be continuous to find out exactly, open up, find out exactly what is going on, what the issues are, what the problems are, and hopefully, get some commitments from you.
Well, the dust raised by the Amotekun Security Initiative of the Southwest Governors may have gone down a little bit. Perhaps it's settled now, but it appears a fresh controversy is brewing, this time from a coalition of northern groups. The groups, comprising various socio-political organizations, today unveiled a security outfit codenamed Operation Shege Kafasa, aimed at protecting lives and property of citizens in the region. The spokesman of the coalition, Abdulaziz Sulaiman, says the decision to set up the security outfit is due to the increasing cases of banditry, kidnapping and terrorism that have remained a major security threat. He calls on the 19 northern governors to urgently join their counterparts in the southwest and the southeast by adopting and ratifying the initiative for the northern region's security and providing the necessary legal framework for its operation to secure lives.
Quick march!
Culmination of these security challenges has, for the past decade, turned the entire region into a house of horror, with violent killings reported on a daily basis, communities displaced, with formal and informal IDP camps spreading across the region. As the situation grows more desperate by the day, with the North as the most porous and vulnerable, with Northerners as the most distressed and estranged, CNG hereby makes the following observations. 1. Initiated practical measures for the setting up of a Northern Regional Security Outfit to complement the efforts of the police, the military, the security services to detect, expose, and defeat all criminal machinations and carry out specific and general tasks that would realign the attitude and thinking of the public with the ideals and objectives of the founding fathers of the region. 2. The outfit, codenamed Shege Kafasa, is designed to be the vanguard of the entire North, encompassing every ethnic group and religion, and to be deeply patriotic in its operation. 3. In addition to complementary tasks for enhancing security in the region, the outfit shall also A. Coordinate operations against the influx of hard drugs into the North. B. Take steps to neutralize all centers of gravity for the supply, manufacture, and distribution of such drugs and other dangerous substances.
Well, that may be on, but the Kaduna Police Command says it's not aware of the establishment of Shege Kafasa and was not briefed about its launch by the organizers. The police spokesperson said the command has the list of all approved vigilante groups in the state and that Shege Kafasa outfit is not among those recognized by the local vigilante groups. Now, barely 1 week after the Christian Association of Nigeria called for a nationwide prayer walk over insecurity in the country, members of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs today asked the federal government to declare a state of emergency on insecurity. The Director of Administration of the organization, Yusuf Moha, explains that insecurity in the country has taken a different dimension, calling for urgent steps to be taken to address the challenge. Mr. Moha also took a swipe at individuals and groups, alleging that the perpetrators of the crime target a particular religious group. Now, let's expand the conversation about tackling insecurity. Joining me live from Abuja is the Chairman, Senate Services Committee, Senator Sani Musa. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10. Now, everyone is waiting to see, everyone is waiting to see a particular outcome. You briefed, the IG briefed you today. What was the outcome of that and what immediate steps are going to be taken?
Thank you very much. I can only express my own personal views about what has been going on the issue of security in this country. As you know, I'm not the spokesman of the Senate, but I'm very much aware that the IGP today was at the plenary and we had a closed-door session with him where we interacted and we discussed so much about the community policing, which a lot of us didn't know how it is going to operate. And when he made his explanation, everyone is convinced that this country, we need that. And we need to see a police force that is working with the intelligence of this policing system that will work in every community, every ward of this country. And we believe that the security issue is a responsibility of everyone. And it's not only the police force or the security outfits that have to take the issue of security in this country very seriously. Every one of us has to do it. And the way the community policing is going to take up...
You said the IG was able to convince you.
It's a good, I mean...
Apologies there. You said the IG was able to convince you about the need for community policing and the measures. What exactly did he say is going to be put in place as a first step? I think that's what we're asking.
Yeah, the community policing, what the government initiative is that they are going to recruit so many special constables all across the nation in every ward of this country. And they are going to operate within a three cardinal, which is partnership, identification of crimes, and also integration and transformation. And with his explanation of these 3 points, we believe that this is exactly where we have to start. Because what we need is intelligence gathering, first, in order to tackle whatever security challenges that are obviously coming. But we asked, as it is today, almost every part of this country is concerned about security. What do we do? And the number of policemen we have to man over 200 million Nigerians and with less than 400,000 policemen is something of concern. Because you can see maybe one single policeman will be manning close to about 700 Nigerians. How possible will that be? So there is need for this policing system. And since this policing system have worked in so many other countries, I don't see why it will not work in Nigeria. We'll call it anything. some people agitating for the state police, some vigilante groups and other regional groups coming up with ideas of how to tackle the security issue. It cannot be like that. We must do it in a more coordinated manner, and we must abide by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because if you look at what is going on today in Sahel region of Africa, it's obviously a thing of concern for us in Nigeria, and the target is Nigeria. If you look around from Niger to Chad to Mali to Burkina Faso to Cote d'Ivoire to Mali, to Benin Republic, they are all attacks. Even northern Ghana has been attacked. So I think the most important thing is that we must sit down, strategize on how this community policing can take up as soon as possible. And with the commitment of the federal government and with the commitment of Mr. President and the commitment of the National Assembly, the leadership of the National Assembly and the entire members of the National Assembly, I believe that we will tackle this head on, and I believe very soon a result-oriented force will come out of it.
Yeah, I know. Very quickly now, how soon do we hope to see the legal backing for community policing? How soon?
Already the Senate and I believe the International Assembly are working on this security strategy. They are trying to look at the security architecture of the country as a whole. An ad hoc committee has been set by the Senate after long deliberation, where every member of the Senate contributed to the issue of security in this country on the way forward. And the good thing about the security issue today is that it is not partisan. There's no division, especially in the Senate, where you would think maybe there is a division. We are all talking holistically as Nigerians who wants to see Nigerians' unity, where we live in peace and unity. This is exactly what happened, and we believe that it's going to take up as soon as possible. The committee was given 2 weeks to report, and I believe they have started their work, and part of the work is for the IG to come and tell the National Assembly, tell the Senate, to explain to the Senate how he intends to take up this.
All right, thank you so much, Chairman, Senate Services Committee, Senator Sani Musa. Thanks a lot for sharing that and giving us all your thoughts on the news at 10 tonight. Thank you. And in part 2, after the break, Nigeria Air Force destroys ISWAP terrorist hideout in Borno State. That's coming up in a moment. Do join us again.